Welcome back, True Seeker. Want to go into a little more detail on State Farm canceling 72,000 Californians' fire insurance policies beginning July 3rd, 2024, not long before the fires that burned up parts of Los Angeles. And they're saying a lot of these policies were in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood, specifically the most impacted area, making one wonder, was there foresight into these arsons? As for the number 72,000, if you've been following my work, you should recognize what's symbolic about that number right away. Again, 72 is very special to the Jesuits. Again, we got the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, on the 72nd day of the year, March 13, 2013. This number 72 gains its significance in Kabbalah, which is also where the practice of coding numbers into words comes from. But in Kabbalah, there's 72 names of God. Also in the Goetia, a book of demonology, there's 72 demons. But notice, State Farm Insurance has that gematria 72, just like Jesuit order. And again, the Jesuits are a sun cult. The sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. And of course, the sun is a ball of fire. So, 72,000. And they began canceling the policies on July 3rd, 2024. It was announced they would do this at the start of the year on March 20th, 2024. Remember, Roman Catholic Church equals 320. It was proposed by the Pope in the year 320 AD that they begin celebrating Jesus' birthday on 1225. 46 years earlier, they had begun celebrating the sun's birthday, Sol Invictus, on 1225. But anyhow, July 3rd can be written 3/7 like 37. They began canceling policies prior to these LA fires on a date that can be written 3/7. Again, Los Angeles equals 37. Keep in mind, Pacific Palisades is a Jewish refuge for a lot of people who survived this Holocaust. It's interesting because the founder of Zionism, Theodore Herzl, died on the day in history, July 3rd as well. But remember, Los Angeles equals 37. This windstorm that sparked these fires, per the official report, is the worst windstorm since the one that happened December 1st, 2011, largely in Pasadena. The anniversary of that storm was 37 days before the January 7th windstorm began. Now, Pacific Palisades turns 103 years old this year. And in Gematria, State Farm equates to 103. You might recall the 103rd NFL season. That was the one with Super Bowl 57 in State Farm Stadium. You might recall Patrick Mahomes, who does the State Farm ads, won that Super Bowl in that stadium. They're moving the Vikings and Rams game, the Los Angeles Rams, to State Farm Stadium. And that's interesting because, remember, the Rams played Mahomes, the State Farm actor, if you will, who does their ads. The Rams played Mahomes right after the Paradise and Los Angeles fires of November 8, 2018. Back then, Goff was on the Rams, and Mahomes and Goff combined for a record 105 points. Now here we are in the 105th NFL season as this fire comes, as the playoffs begin, where both Goff and Mahomes are favorites to be in the Super Bowl. They're the respective 1 seeds in each conference. Of course, Goff has gone to Detroit. But the Rams and Vikings playoff game moved to State Farm Stadium. And about this 103 State Farm thing and Pacific Palisades being 103 years old this year, remember the mayor's birthday is 10/3, October 3rd, 10/3. And we talked about how the fire began on her 97th day of her age while she was out of town, which is the 25th prime going with fire. Notice how many years State Farm has had insurance for California. 97 years as well. Isn't that interesting? State Farm began helping Californians in 1928, thus 97 years ago. And home insurance, like before the fires even began, you guys, we talked about how this was going to be impacting home insurance rates before the fires even began. And this is a big part of the agenda. Again, the Jesuit Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum said you'll own nothing and be happy. We're being priced out of living ever since those remarks were made, from the cost of everything, insurance, food, everything. So home insurance can be written 7/1, like the date that the fires began was the 7th day of the first month. Speaking of the Chiefs and their State Farm ads, Andy Reid's been doing a lot of the State Farm ads in more recent times, and he's a Los Angeles native, and the fires did begin 71 days before his upcoming birthday. This year, the ad has been Bundle Rooski, which equals 145 and 71. Of course, this year, Andy Reid spent the majority of the season on 145 regular season home losses. Bundle Rooski 145-71, like Santa Ana. They're blaming this on Santa Ana wins, which equals 71 and 145. And remember, the fires began on a date that can be written 7/1, but they also began 145 days after the Jesuit order's birthday, which is August 15th. And it was August 15th, 1952, that the first act of weather warfare was ever admitted to. And remember, the Jesuits are a military order, and no doubt these fires are involving military tech. Keep in mind, the Super Bowl this year will be 145 days after the star of the Chiefs' birthday. And for one more, from the day that the policies began to get canceled by State Farm until the start of the fire was 188 days later. This has to do with money. The U.S. dollar bill denominations are the 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100. You add it all together, they all equal 188. On the dollar bill, it's no secret, a lot of 13s and Illuminati symbolism when the Illuminati was founded by 13 very powerful and wealthy families. Again, Bavarian Illuminati has that gematria of 188. And again, that was founded by a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt, May 1st, 1776, May Day. But, yeah, again, you got to be a hardcore coincidence theorist to not accept what we've been teaching now for over a decade about weather warfare, how they sync it up with rig sports, how they do it over and over again. If you missed what I just covered the other day about the World Series, the latest Dodgers World Series, and another major fire in LA, again, that's been a recurring pattern that's happened several times now in the last decade. So, again, get caught up, stop being a coincidence theorist, and help expose who's actually doing this, the Jesuits. And if this is the first video of mine you came across, you might want to watch the last 4 for a lot more evidence of what I'm saying in case you think this is some kind of tinfoil hat conspiracy theory nonsense. It's not. It's what's going on. The Kabbalah is real. Kabbalah is real. These people use it because in Kabbalah it stated that God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. These people are playing God. And they use technology and they perform sinister agendas that are giving them more control over the people of the world. And again, it was their top Jesuit on the world stage at the World Economic Forum who said back in 2020, "You'll own nothing and be happy." So we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. And until